This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 14 in the NLT. Sing, O daughter of Zion. Shout aloud, O Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all your heart, O daughter of Jerusalem. For Yahweh will remove his hand of judgment and will disperse the armies of your enemy. And Yahweh himself, the King of Israel, will live among you. At last your troubles will be over, and you will never again fear disaster. On that day, the announcement to Jerusalem will be, cheer up, Zion, don't be afraid. For Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, your power is living among you. He is a mighty Savior. He will take delight in you with gladness. With his love, he will calm all your fears. He will rejoice over you with joyful songs. I will gather you who mourn for the appointed festivals. You will be disgraced no more. And I will deal severely with all who have oppressed you. I will save the weak and helpless ones. I will bring together those who were chased away. I will give glory and fame to my former exiles wherever they have been mocked and shamed. On that day I will gather you together and bring you home again. I will give you a good name, a name of distinction among all the nations of the earth, as I restore your fortunes before their very eyes. I, Yahweh, have spoken. Shalom, shalom. Before I begin this lesson, all praise, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishop, and elders, a great millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings be multiplied on all you brethren out there teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect, 144,000, and the rest of the elect out there. I'm the brother Dama Agabar, here with another lesson, Lord willing, to edify through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai. All right. And as we can see, the day is coming to where this is going to be ultimately fulfilled, man. Where we're going to be saved from all of our enemies. The Lord's going to give us a good name, amongst all the heathens, amongst all the nations. We'll live in fear no more. We'll never be oppressed by our enemies. We'll be in the Holy Land, safe and secure. No nation is going to rise up against us. There'll be no more wars. We'll be able to serve Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai all the days of our lives and with peace and safety. All right. And, the Lord's going to bring us home again. Now, according to those so-called small hats, this supposedly happened in 1948 when they was brought back into the Holy Land. According to them, that's when prophecy has been fulfilled. But when you look at the atmosphere, ever since those devils have been taken back to the land in 1948, this has not happened. None of this, what Zephaniah prophesied would happen, has come to pass. All right. The very first day that those small hats was taken back into the land, it was a war on that very day. You see? And if you still believe in that nonsense and that BS, then you don't know prophecy and you don't know what the hell is going on, man. I'm going to further prove it because I was reading this article, right? This is from the Daily Express U.S. Shocking photos show Israel road burnings as anti-Netanyahu protests rage. But wait a minute. What I just read in Zephaniah says that when the Israelites was brought back into that land, when they were delivered and brought back and redeemed from the hands of their enemies and taken back to the Holy Land, this shouldn't be happening. You got what? Israeli activists have demanded that Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu agree to a ceasefire in order to rescue the remaining hostages. Wait a minute. Why the hell are there hostages? And why is there anti leadership over there of the Israelis or the Jews happening? That doesn't line up with prophecy. That doesn't line up with what the Lord said will be happening when the children of Israel has been brought back into that land. So it leads to the only conclusion that those are not the people, obviously. All right. And as we get closer and closer into the end, hey, information like this must needs come out, man. All right. Because we're living in a time to where, the true biblical Israelites, which are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the rest of the Israelites that have scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, scattered amongst the other nations, have not been brought back into that land. And this very, article further proves that, man. All right, so let's read some of this. It says, outraged Israeli demonstrators wreaked havoc on the streets of Tel Aviv on Tuesday, starting numerous fires to pressure Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to broker a ceasefire deal. Wait a minute. Why should there shouldn't be any deals needed to be brokered? There's not. Hey, if these are the true people, there shouldn't even be violence or protest or any establishments. Protests against the righteous government of the Israelites. Because as we know, when Israelites are put back in the land, they're going to govern and rule over the whole planet Earth, via the law, statutes, and commandments and the government of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So why the hell is these protests happening, man? They're supposed to have fulfilled prophecy. The true people are back in the land, which is prophetically means that it should be the kingdom of Israel established throughout the whole four corners of the earth. But what do you have happening there? The exact opposite. It says the IDF sought the destruction of Hamas for 3 years now since the militant group's bloody assault in southern Israel in October 2023, which killed 1,200. Wait a minute. Let me see something here. Oh, shit. I got some more precepts to line up with this, all right? I want to get this one. Oh, yeah, let me get this one. This is Micah chapter 4, verse 2. I'll start at 1. It says what? Peaceful latter days. Now, according to, like I said, to what these small hats say, what America say, what Christianity says, those people fulfilled the people going back to the promised land in 48. Then why are there not peaceful latter days, man? It's war gearing up every goddamn where. You see? It says Micah 4:1, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahweh shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow unto it, right? And mountains and hills represents government. And the scriptures tell you in Isaiah, what is that? Isaiah the 9th chapter, 9 and 11, that when Yahweh Shai established his the government shall rest upon his shoulders. Matter of fact, let me get that. Well, I got my other phone. I'm going to read it from my other phone, so I ain't got to log out of this. But let me get that real fast, man. What's that, Isaiah 9? Yep, here we go. Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. It says, for unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government, right? And what mountains and hills represents governments. All right. The government shall be upon his shoulders. Whose shoulder? Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there shall be no end. You see? So if they fulfill prophecy, if the Lord put them back in that land, then the government of Yahweh Shai should be established on all the planet Earth, man. And it should be built upon peace, and not going to be no wars. It's not going to be no conflicts. It's not going to be no turmoils or political uprisings or even wars happening. And I'm going to show you that. It says, upon the throne of David, there shall be no end upon the throne of David and upon his kingdom to order it and to establish it with judgment and with justice from henceforth, even forever. And where's King David? Sitting upon the throne. And that over there is you got Benjamin Netanyahu sitting in the seat of power over there, over those small hats. Where's the monarchy? Where's King David? Where's the other? Where's all 12 tribes of Israel? Why do you got heathen temples over there, a mosque over there in the Holy Land? Christianity, all type of idols and different gods and philosophies and BS going on over there because they're not the people. Hello. It says, the zeal of Yahweh of hosts will perform this. You see? Where is that happening? Because it hasn't been fulfilled yet. All right. And it says, and all the people shall flow unto it. Everybody's not flowing over there to those small hats to learn the ways of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. All right, verse 2, and many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. Like I said, you got all type of other philosophies. You got Islam over there. You got Islamic temples, Christianity. Shit, you even got non-Orthodox Jews over there, so-called non-Messianic small hats, atheists, Pink City, and we can go on and on and on, man. So obviously, that 1948 is not establishing prophecy, all right? Well, not this prophecy anyway. And it says, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth of Zion, and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. And that's not happening because it hasn't been fulfilled yet. All right, and that whole Israeli establishment is built upon democracy and British law and all type of other laws outside of the Holy Scriptures, man. Shit, a lot of those so-called small hats don't even believe in the Messiah. They don't even believe that Yahweh Shai is coming back. Their Talmud teaches that Yahweh Shai is burning in boiling semen in hell somewhere, man. So what the hell is really going on here? All right. Here's the point. It says, and he shall judge among many people and rebuke strong nations afar off, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. Well, I was just reading earlier that you got North Korea and Russia and China over there doing military drills. For what? Because they're preparing for this third world war that's going to take place, man. So obviously these people have not fulfilled the prophecy of the people going back into the land. All right. It says another 250 persons, including children, were kidnapped in the aftermath. While the majority of the captives have been released, while some dying in the process, there are still about 50 Israelis being held by the militant group. Wait, how is that happening when it's supposed to be the government of peace established there? Nation shall not lift up sword against nation. None's supposed to make them afraid. The Lord's going to give Israel peace on all sides, man. But why is this taking place upon the so-called people of the Most High? I'll let you figure that out. It says activists and humanitarian groups says it's likely only 20 of the remaining 50 are still alive. Citizens in Tel Aviv are demanding the IDF ease up on gunfire to launch a last-ditch effort to save the last of the hostages, man. It says Israeli protesters enraged and demanding a ceasefire in Gaza to protect hostages still held captive in the Palestinian territory have taken to the streets. Wait a minute, it's supposed to be peace there. All right, it's supposed to be order, righteousness. These nations are supposed to be flowing unto those people learning the ways of the Most High. Everything's supposed to be in order, you know. But what do you see? The complete opposite. It says there are burning tires, blocking highways, and staging some of the most intense demonstrations since the war began, all while the Israeli military continues its heavy bombardment of Gaza cities in the anticipation of a significant ground event. They're preparing for war, man. You got, look at this. You got all type of protests, all type of hell breaking loose, but they're supposed to have fulfilled prophecy going back into that land, and it's supposed to be, you know, peace over there according to, you know, them fulfilling prophecy, but they're not, because they're not those people, man. Look at that. You got people starvation with 3 more pallets. Come on, man. Look at this. See, like, look at this. These are not the people, man. You know. These are not the people. They're not fulfilling prophecy, all right? Let's get another one. Oh, yeah, look at this. This is Isaiah 60 and 17. For brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood brass, and for stones iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. Is that happening over there? Hell no. You got a thing called Mossad, the Israeli intelligence agency, who's into child sex trafficking, who's into you know, buying off politicians. You know, they got all type of dirt on particular individuals, bribery. They were allegedly bankrolling Epstein and his whole campaign. Come on, man. And we can go on, man. It says what? I'm reading the NOT. I will make thy peace. I will make peace your leaders and righteousness your rulers. Is Netanyahu a righteous dealer? Come on, man. Come on. It says violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation and thy gates praise. Is this exhibiting that prophecy being fulfilled? Absolutely not. One more and I'm gonna get out of here, man. Get out of here. This is Luke 1 and 68. It says, blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he had visited and redeemed his people. We haven't been redeemed or brought back from the hand of our enemies, all right? Because the Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans were still under captivity. This hasn't been fulfilled. And those people damn sure didn't fulfill this in 48. It says, and have raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. Again, where's King David, man? All right? It says, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies. Well, isn't Hamas allegedly an enemy of Israel? And did not they on October 11 bring that attack and brought sheer terror and hell and fear there? Okay. It says that we should be saved from our enemies and from all the hands of and from the hands of all that hate us. to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham, that he would grant us that we, being delivered out of the hand of our enemies, might serve him without fear. Well, all those so-called small hats over there don't serve the Most High with fear. Like I said, a lot of them don't even believe in Yahushua. They believe that he's boiling in hot excrement in hell. All right. A lot of them have secular worldviews. Shit, Ben Gurion and the early Zionist forefathers were all atheists. Oops. Come on, man. It says, in holiness and in righteousness before him all the days of our life. You see? Because that has not happened yet. And thou, child, that same child I read about in Isaiah 9, Yahushua, shall be called the prophet of the highest, for thou shalt go before the... Oh, no, Salaki, it's talking about John the Baptist. Excuse me. It says, for thou shalt go before the face of the Lord to prepare his way, to give knowledge of salvation unto his people by the remission of their sins, through the tender mercy of our God, whereby the day spring from on high has visited us, to give light to them that sit in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet in the way of peace. Come on, man. And these individuals are not fulfilling this because it has not happened yet, and they don't fit the description, man. So come on. All right, so I'm going to close it there, man. Lord willing, this is edifying. All praise and honor, glory to Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai. And to the next one, Shalom.